In this video, we'll be playing Manor Lords on challenging difficulty. We are on the current patch 0.8, start a new game. I've got a banner already set up, and again, we'll be playing on challenging difficulty. We're going to play the lake map, and let's get these guys set up. So on this one, we do have the AI. I tried to play this one, Fractured Realm, where you would have to conquer all the AI that are building settlements, and they actually didn't really do anything. So I want to have a little bit more of a challenge this time. So we're going to play on restoring the peace. So we have to deal with the Baron. Everything's going to be left on default. I might do one more run after this where we maxed all the difficulty settings and see if we can still beat it with that. But with that said, let's jump right in. All right, and if we pause and zoom out, you can see here we've got a rich source of iron. We've also got a rich source of soil. So this is like the perfect start. I do recommend if you're trying to do a challenge run, this is probably one of the better ones to do. So rich iron, rich soil. That way you can get all the weapons you need, and then you could also manufacture clothing and ale without having to trade for it. The only thing you'll be short of in the beginning is going to be meat, but you can use your extensions to supplement that. Now, neighboring regions, they do have some resources, like here we can get meat to transport it in. Probably not really worth it though. And then this neighbor, we can get stone. That is definitely going to be worth it though. So stone, and then it looks like they have more farmlands. And then on the other side of the lake, I doubt we'll do any expansion past here other than just to claim the land. I don't think we'll build any settlements there. But our main region, I picked this one specifically because it's a nice big chunk of land. So it should be pretty easy to get a lot of population here. This one's also pretty good, Burenbach, but I don't know. I kind of like the look of this one. And then before we get started, let's take a look at where we're going to set up our initial town. So I can see here on the flax and barley tabs, you can see a big chunk of yellow right here. So I think we'll probably try and put our starting region right in here, all of our population and the starting industry. And then after that, we'll have to expand from there. But right here would be a good area for the starting farms because you could see flax is decent. Barley is decent with 3 pluses, and then emmer is green all over this area. So we could set up farms that'll rotate 3 different types of crops, and then yeah, we need to make sure we don't build over that. So we'll put a road here. I'm going to go through here and lay out a little bit of road work just to make sure we don't accidentally hit any of these valuable places. So like this is 3 greens, but it's very small, so I don't really mind if we build over the top of this, but something like this we definitely don't want to build over. So we'll try to put some streets so that I don't accidentally build over it. Okay, so here's what I did. I started with a road right here just south, or yeah, I guess south of our starting area here. So anything in this area, we'll probably put some farmlands right in this. And then right here, I put another one. Now this is a road that's going to go from this area where we're building to the iron. Can't really, I tried to find a better way to put it around, but it's going to have to cut through, or we're going to have to go all the way around from down here in the southern part of the lake. I don't think it's worth it. So we'll just we'll bisect it, and then we'll build some fields around it. It's not that big of a deal. But you can see up here, we have a big chunk of land. So let me get rid of this so you can actually see. So this area we can build on, and this area we can build on and put all kinds of housing, all kinds of industry and whatnot. So we'll try to do that. Let's also try to connect our roads here just so that we have a decent way of going from one end to the other without having to go all the way up to the main road and over. There we go. So that is that one. And then, you know what we should probably do if we can get away with it. Can we build a road out here? That way there's, yeah, looks like we can sneak it in here. Perfect. There. So if anybody needs to get around the outside, they're already covered. I don't have to worry about remembering to do it later. And then, like I said, we'll build some of the mines over here and get that taken care of. Now, one thing I do need to figure out what we're going to do is where we're going to build the fruit. So we probably don't need to make veggies. I think veggies we can deal without because we're going to be getting a decent amount of, well, actually, let me think about that. So we might still need veggies. I was just thinking in the early game, we definitely don't need it because we have berries in fish. That's 2 sources. These are good for about 100 food a year each. So about 200 food each. And we need fruit so that we can satisfy the needs when we get into the higher level burgage plots. Bread will be one firm source, but yeah, we might actually need veggies anyways because that's another source of the lower tier. So what we probably want to do is find a good spot. Not in here. This is too valuable. I don't want to build in here. I'd rather do all of our resource processing in here. So we'll probably do like a windmill and maybe an area where we can convert barley, and then another section where we can do the clothing, like the linen and whatnot. So I don't really want to take up this space with the burgage plots that take up a lot of space. So like right here, we could technically do it over here. There's not a lot of good room. So maybe we'll do veggie and fruit up here in this area. Or we could do it down here, potentially. Yeah, so like down in this little area on the way to the river. So that could be something. Do we have any elevation issues here? I don't think so. Just, yeah, I was gonna say over here by the cliffs. But our specific region does not have any elevation considerations. So we don't need to worry about that. So we kind of have a rough idea where we're gonna put stuff. The other thing, so this is the King's Road. So I don't know if there's anything good back here. It's hard to tell because there's a lot of trees. So we'll have to kind of cut a lot of this down and see what we're gonna end up doing. I don't mind cutting down a lot of this because this is considered woodlands. Woodlands is good for your pigs, and we will probably do pigs here. It's good for wild animals and berries and mushrooms, which we don't really use. I mean, we use berries, but who cares? We can do without it. And then woodland environment for the tannery, who cares? This is much more important, turning things into meadows. So I think we'll probably end up doing more of this. So if we cut down the trees, I think it helps expand this. Although I'm not 100% sure on that. But this one for sure, apiaries, that's fine. We definitely need 5 of those so that we can get our pollination up. And our pollination currently is up to 39%. So that's not bad at all. And then we can get another, I believe, about 10% by getting the apiaries extension in the back of the houses. So hopefully that kind of lays it out. I don't like to spend too much time in the beginning doing this, but I at least wanted to kind of lay out what my thought process was here to see if anybody's trying to do something similar, you can kind of follow along. But let's go ahead and start it off. Let me get the beginning building set up. Okay, here we go. So we are starting with a second hitching post. We already ordered an ox, a second ox, so we can take the logs, the timber faster. Got a logging camp down here. I also created a little bit of road networks here. We'll try to build around this. It's probably going to look like garbage, but whatever. I'm trying to not do like a grid system and make it a little bit more natural. I'm not very good at it though, so we'll see. And then we also have a granary and a storehouse. We'll get all these down, try and get everything off the ground. This is just a temporary road so they can get to the supplies faster, and then we'll delete it once we're done with that. So let's go ahead and speed it up. Let's get our starting buildings done, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do after that. All right, we've got a lot of stuff up. Let's go ahead and staff both the granary and the storehouse, and they've got their stalls up, and we just need to beat the rain on these. So after that, the next goal is to get all of our housing, and we already have 10 timber, so that's a good sign. Now, I think it's probably a good idea to get the food, or sorry, the housing away from this area. I kind of want to have a lot of the housing centrally located, like maybe in this corridor, and then, like I said, we'll build some industry around it. I don't mind having a little bit around here. Maybe our first couple of houses, we could do like 3 or 4 on each side, something like this. I'm going to keep this tight. I'll do this offline because it's really tedious to do it. But yeah, I want to keep these houses kind of as small as they can get. You can see there's still a little bit of room here. Yeah, see, we can get 3 here. There we go. So you can see there's not a whole lot of wasted space on this side. If you do it manually, you can make it a lot tighter, compact. So that's 3. We have room for more. We'll get those going. And then once we have a couple more, we'll do another 3. We want to get it at least some kind of immigration here, so we need enough room for them. There we go. Everything's off the floor. Perfect timing too. It's starting to rain, and we do have enough timber to build 3 more, so that'll be 6 in total. So I guess we can just do a handful of them right here. I'd like to keep them kind of close to our central granary because we will be producing meat, and we'll have some apiaries here as well, so we need to make sure we are ready for that. Yeah, and then again, you can see here, it doesn't space it out very well, so it's better just to do it manually. I'll be right back. There we go. So 6 total. Once these are done, we'll have no more homelessness, and we'll have room for 1 more person to move in. And then we need to start building more housing. Probably, we'll keep some room here in the center for a trade post. Because right here at the T intersection where we can get to the storehouse quickly, that's where a trade location should go for sure. So let me get these built up. We also need a well, and that's going to help improve the approval. Oh boy. Yeah, we've got some issues with homelessness, so we need to get this done ASAP before people start moving out. But anyways, we get that housing done, and then this well should help There we go. The well's done. Housing is done. Everybody's moved in. We are missing a church. And we're missing another food type, which we can do right now. Let's go ahead and build a fisherman's hut. This one can be very close. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. We've got our 6th family that moved in. And that's even with only 45 approval. So not too shabby. We do have enough timber to build some more homes. And we should definitely do that. We need to make sure we leave enough space though. So why don't we... we'll put down the trading post just so we know where it's going to go, and then maybe build some houses on the side of it, and then we'll delete it. Okay, there we go. There's 3 more houses. Delete the trade post. We'll put it back later. We should also start to get some berries before that's completely gone for the season, because these will... It's already May, so they're going to stop growing soon, and we definitely don't want to lose all that food. So we'll put one right in the middle of the forest, and I'll probably end up moving this around later, or maybe we'll just get rid of the berries altogether and cover it with farms. It's not that big of a deal once we get to the late game. Having an extra 100 food per year is not going to really change anything. So, but for now, it will make a big difference. We also need to get some woodcutters going so we can heat our homes. Yeah, we got only 2 months of that. Food, definitely the priority for now, though. So let's get our fishermen going. Take it down to maybe 75 is fine. So about half. And we still need time for the forager's hut. We also need some planks. So we'll do the saw pit, and then we need to build a church. Running out of fuel. Yep, there we go. So we'll put somebody in the woodcutter's lodge. Now for this, the lumber saw pit, whatever, this thing, I usually go up to 30 planks in reserve for a production limit, and we do that just so that we don't overproduce, use up all of our logs. We don't want to do that. We are starting to get some fish. We definitely need to get some forager hut going. So there we go. We got 2 more houses worth of immigrants that we can take on. So once we get them, we can start building more, but we need to get all the resources we can, weather permits. Let's also put down a charcoal kiln, and we don't need to staff it just yet. We just need to get some wood. We'll get it ready. Once we get a decent amount of firewood, then we'll turn the woodcutter off, and then we'll put them in the charcoal kiln to convert it more efficiently. So every 1 firewood equals 2 charcoal. So you basically double your efficiency by building one. Right, let's also put our church up here. I'm going to put it out of the way on the back side of these houses. I don't think we're going to be doing a lot right here specifically, so we'll probably put like another road bisecting this area and then maybe one up here. So it doesn't matter if we block this in a little bit. Or you know what we could do is just put a road straight back from there. Yeah, why don't we do that? And we'll have it connect with our road back here. Something like that. There we go. We've got 2 more laborers that we can put. Let's make sure that we get the church built in a decent time. Looks like fuel is good, so I'm going to pull this guy off, throw him on the charcoal kiln, and then we should be good. So once we get our initial town set up, we're not worried about starving or freezing to death. The next primary goal is to get some iron going. And the reason we want to do that is we need to get some troops. So this is on the harder difficulty setting. We don't get the free weapons. We have to build our own from scratch. So at some point, we need to go take out these bandit camps. Oh, I guess there's only one. Yeah, I guess there's only one so far, but the AI will start to take them out soon. We don't want them to do that because when they take the camps out, they get the money and they get the influence, and they're going to take over the map very quickly. We need to slow them down by taking them first. We need time to build up our forces. So yeah, getting a high population is pretty important right now, but also getting some iron and planks going so we can get shield troops, specifically the spears. There we go, church is done. So we should see a pretty big increase in approval here. The only thing was missing amenities, which that's no longer the case. So we shouldn't have any missing. We have 10 months still. Why don't we... I was going to hold off on doing this, but it looks like we're probably going to be okay. So why don't we build it right now? Let's build some more housing. Expand a little bit faster. Let's also get... Oh, not enough goods. We need more timber. So let's get that going. And then also we need to build the iron mine. So I'm going to work on those two. We'll also get some more population going. We don't want to go too big over the winter time, but we need to get our troops going. And so if we get this set up, we can get our industry set up. And then also we need to have 2 of these that are upgraded. We don't have a lot of materials though. It's fine. We need at least 2 for sure. So let's get those 2 upgraded. They'll be ready to go. So blacksmithy, a joiner's workshop. So this one will be for weapons. This one will be for the shields. So here we go. We've got our mining pit starting to go down. We've got 3 new houses and a trading post, and there we go. So there's another, there they go. There's another bandit camp. The AI is going to take it out, unfortunately. So they're going to get the money and the influence for that. And it'll probably immediately take another region, but we can't do anything about it yet for now. So we just got to keep plugging away. Yep, there they go. So Truma Hoha, and that one is up there. So we're just going to let that one go. They didn't claim this one yet, though, the bandit camp. So it looks like they just killed the bandits and then left. So we might be able to take the money for that. Oh, also, I should have done this earlier. So if we go to development points, there's 9 different ones we can choose from. The one that I'm going to go for, and I've already kind of thought this through, we're going to go for Regensburger Guildsman. And this one is going to give us regional wealth for every burgage plot we own, even if it's basically +1 regional wealth per month per burgage plot. So usually you'd only get one starting at tier 2 and then another +1 at tier 3. This basically makes tier 1s give you a +1, tier 2s give you +2, and tier 3 +3. So you can make quite a bit of money doing this. It also reduces the upgrade cost, and then your salt and iron ore imports are reduced. That's really irrelevant because we have iron infinitely here. And the only downside is land tax approval severity. So when we start to tax our people, it'll make them a little bit more upset, but it's rarely an issue. So this is not really that bad. This is also another one to consider. So blacksmithing, efficiency, weapon export value +30%, militia give you approval bonus, and then handyman, whatever that does. The downside though is -20% efficiency for animals, anything to do with animals. We need our animals to produce well, because if they don't, then we're going to be short meat. And so I don't really like this one for that reason. There's a couple others that I guess you could make an argument for, like the smallholding, the Bamberg smallholders. This one lets you turn any burgage plot into a smallholding. You get more approval for food variety and tree planting. I mean, this one's kind of a non-factor, though. It doesn't really do that much. And then there's some other ones, like the mining speed debuff is kind of bad, but this would also give us faster production of some other things. It just... I don't know. There's some good ones in here, but I still think this is the best one. So we're going to go for that one. This is the Regensburg Guildsman. It's going to give us more money for all of our plots, our burgage level plots. Another thing we need to do is get rid of this stone without destroying it. So I'm going to put a camp right here. We'll try and get all this mopped up before winter's done. Got our mining pit ready to go as well. So let's start producing some iron. But yeah, once we get this done, we'll try and suck up all this stone, throw it in storage, and we're going to need more storage as well. Yeah, you can see here, we're already close to full. So storehouse, we'll upgrade it to the large, and then we'll put a bunch of people here. Now we do have some iron coming in soon, so let's go ahead and set up. Oh, we don't have goods. Don't have planks. We do have, yeah, let me figure out what is causing us to not have planks here. Because we have plenty of stuff. We have workers and everything. Something's going on. Okay, there we go. Bloomery. So now we can start converting this. Yep, they're starting to dig up the ore. Perfect. All right, so winter's coming soon. We're sitting on 7 months of food supply, which is fine. We just need 3 or 4 months to get through the winter time, and then we'll start collecting food from fish and berries again. So what we're going to try to do is clear out this stone. Let's make sure we can get that completely off the map. We'll redistribute the labor to our mining pit. We'll probably upgrade these. One to a joiner workshop, and one to a blacksmith. We'll start producing those weapons, and then maybe we'll try to do that during the wintertime, actually. If we can take these bandit camps out, that would be really helpful. We can have up to 24 right now, so it's not bad. Okay, there is the last of our stone here, so let's pull all these workers out. I also reduced the maintenance down to minimum because it's a temporary building. We're going to delete it anyways once it's done. So no sense in wasting our tools on it. But anyways, we've got extra workers. Let's go ahead and do that. So blacksmith and joiner's workshop. Now we do have to be careful not to do too many upgrades. We don't have the means to satisfy all their needs. And as you upgrade them, their needs increase. So we'll start to see some more negatives show up here and bring our average down. So as long as we don't upgrade too many, we'll keep it in check. Now we need to get some guardrails set up here. So let's go ahead and increase this to 30. I think we'll do 30 spears, 30 shields. That should be plenty. So there we go. They'll start producing at 30, but we're also going to start a regiment. So as they fill out, they'll grab their tools or their weapons, and then we should be good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull out our army. We've got 24 soldiers in it. That's not bad for our first year. So we were able to get that up pretty quickly. And then what we're going to do is send him down here to collect this. I believe he already killed the troops there, and then there's one up here. Are there bandits in there? I don't see anything moving, so I think it's just an empty camp, but that's fine. So let's head down there and take that. So while we're working on that, and while these guys are moving south, let's kind of talk about what the next phase is going to look like. So I think the goal here is to get our food up, because we need to expand our population quickly so that we can have more troops. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is if we have extra food. And I think the best area right now is going to be right in this region right here. So if we look at barley and flax, so barley looks pretty good here. Flax is like halfway, half of it down here is covered, half of it's not, but not a big deal. And then a lot of emmer up here, so we can definitely get the food. Now, we're not going to produce all three types. We'll just produce food in the beginning, so we'll go wheat only. Maybe wheat and rye rotated, just so that we don't burn the soil out. But we'll do that, and then eventually we'll switch it to collecting all three. And like I said, this region is pretty good for that. Same thing on this side. This side also has a decent spot. You can see right here, barley and flax. And then emmer, not as much emmer over here, but that's not that big of a deal. We should have more than enough if we collect all three. So anyways, I think we're good. Let's focus on getting our money, waiting till winter ends, and then we'll come back. All right, we got it. We're going to throw it in our treasury, and that goes into our personal money. So we'll use that either for mercenaries, which I'd rather not do, but the first battle or two is really hard because the AI is really aggressive and they take the land very quickly. So we may not be able to avoid it, but once we get to the point where we can use just our militia, we'll try to do it with that. Let's come up here, take this last one. It's almost March, so we got to get our troops back so that they can start helping out around the farm. We got another bandit camp that just popped up. Let's actually not go for that camp up top. Let's just head back. We'll get that other one later. What are you doing? It's not letting me click on him. There it goes. Really odd. All right, anyways, yeah, it's not letting me click on him. We'll take our stand over here. We want to be out in the open so that we can go shield wall, and then we'll just take that out. So the important resource is obviously the money, but I think even more importantly is the influence. I just don't want to have the enemy get the influence. That would be really bad. Oh boy. All right, they're coming. What is going on with my troops? Are they not here? Okay, never mind. They're all split. That's fine. They should be fine. I was going to say, I don't know where my troops are, but they were split into two. So let's rally, shield wall, defensive, and then we'll go roughly 2 ranks deep, let them charge, and then we're going to push aggressively. There we go. Shouldn't be... Oh, we took a loss. Wow. Wow. Okay, we took a loss. Only one, though. I guess not that big of a deal. But you can see here, we did get 360 influence for that, so a couple more of these and we'll be able to take another region. Although I think what we'll probably do is not take regions. I think we'll just, when we are able to, we'll contest their regions. So that way we don't have to spend influence on it. We just have to spend money or our soldiers' lives. It's already, yeah, more than halfway through March, so we got to really get back soon. These guys have been out for a while. All right, troops are back home. We've got people collecting food again, so we only have 2 months left. But we should be able to stock up now. And then what we need to do, yeah, there he goes. He's taking another region. Dude, he didn't even get influence. How does he have influence for that? Am I missing something? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not sure how he has all the influence to do that. He did take this camp out though. Yeah, there was one right here that we were gonna get. Looks like he snagged it, but that's not a big deal. Okay, let's start working on getting our farming up, I think, soon. I'm also gonna switch my blacksmith over here to make tools. We're completely out. And you can see we're getting the warning that some buildings require maintenance, meaning we don't have the required stuff. So let's go ahead and make some tools. Hopefully we still have a little bit of iron. Yeah, there's some iron slabs being produced, so that should help. Yep, botched blacksmith. So that's what happens when you run out of tools. All right, he's about to take... Oh, there he goes. Yeah, he just took it. So he took Hangstrass, whatever that means. So there are 3 regions left. He already took 2. That was very fast. So we got to be careful here. But we're going to start building our farmhouses and getting some actual fields set up over here. We do need more labor though. So why don't we get a few more houses as well? Let's get 4 more houses. I really hope we have enough food to survive. So we're gonna fish out down to, yeah, quite a bit down. We still have a little bit of growing season left. We're at plus 8 months, but adding 4 more families is going to reduce that. So just have to be careful. We're not going to get any food out. Well, you know what? Actually, we could. We might. So let's get this going. We need to get the upgrades so we can use the ox to plow the fields for us and help us with harvesting. But let's get that done, and then, you know what, let's, I'm gonna go ahead and set this up. So the way that I usually like to do this is 0.5 Morgan increments. So kind of skinny, long skinny, like fingers almost. So there you go. There's a 0.5, there's a 0.5, and we just kind of make strips like this. And the reason we want to do 0.5 is because one family can handle about 2 Morgans, and hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you want to do them in increments of 3 if you can, because when you do your rotations, that's the most efficient way. Right, yeah, 0.5. Okay, so here we go. So this is 1 Morgan right here. This is 1 Morgan right here, these 2 fields. And then finally, this field is 2 fields are 1 Morgan. So 3 Morgans in total. And we'll do crop rotation. And then we're going to do the same thing in both of these. And the reason we split these up instead of having them both do different things is because you want the ox to be able to plow as much as you can without the people getting in the way. So if an ox is touching a field, that means people can't do it by hand. And if you have your fields too big, it takes a really long time for that ox to go around and plow it before your people can throw down seeds. You want to keep your people away from plowing by hand. So they'll do a little bit in the beginning of the year because there's nothing plowed all the way. But if you make your fields small enough, then the ox can get through it pretty quickly. And then your farmers that are doing it by hand will actually transfer over, start to seed it, while the ox is doing another field and so on and so forth. So that's essentially what we're doing, and we're rotating this so that every year we get the same product. We want to get the same amount. So we get wheat, barley, and flax in 1 year. The next year we'll get barley, flax, and wheat, so 1 of each. And then, like I said, the 3rd year, 1 of each. And then on the off year, so when this is not producing flax, this farm, when it's producing barley, the flax will recover and the wheat will recover. The flax will recover when it's doing wheat as well. So that's why you want to rotate your crops. If you just keep farming the same thing, the yield will go down to 0 and you just won't get anything out of it. So let's get this upgraded so that we can assign some families, and then we'll try and get people out. It's halfway through the year already, so it's going to be hard to make anything from it. We'll get maybe a tiny amount. Oh, you know what? I did this wrong, didn't I? Yeah, I did it again. Last time when I was messing around with this, I did it like this. So what I'm going to do is actually turn off crop rotation for now. If I turn it back on, does it save it? It does. It actually saves. So I'm just going to turn these off and flip everything to wheat because I don't care about the other products right now. We just want food. We can't do anything with barley or flax other than sell it. And you can see we're already generating some regional wealth, so we don't really need it. But food we can definitely use because we only have a few months supply. So anyways, yeah, that'll be fine. When we flip it back, we just have to fix the top row. So anyways, we'll get some housing, we'll get some workers in here, and then we should be good. All right, we're done there. So let's go ahead and assign at least 1 livestock here, and we'll get a couple families going. And then as they move in, we'll throw them at the fields as well. And also, we should probably start to upgrade and get more animals so that we can get to the fields even faster. There they go. So he's going to plow. Like I said, they start to do it by hand. They're just incredibly slow compared to the ox, but they can't go on the same field at the same time. So if you have a bunch of smaller ones, the ox will finish one chunk fast, and then they'll start switching back and forth. And then these guys will go back to doing what they do best, which is planting the seeds. All right, we got our second oxen. So there's 2 here. They're going to plow. Perfect. Get another family out there, and you can see now we got 2. And then the people are just going to go throw seeds on the floor. So perfect. July, August, September. Yeah, these is basically going to produce almost nothing. But if we can get a handful of food out of it, it's better than nothing. As of right now, we have only 9 months of supply, and these are starting to turn off now. So the fish are off. Take the fishermen out. This is still growing, so we'll get a few more berries at least. There we go. The fields are all planted. I don't know why this one's at 0. Some of these other ones have less growth, but they have more predicted harvest. That might be a bug. But you can see here, we're going to get a little bit. So every grain that you harvest will turn into 2 pieces of bread. So multiply this by 2, and that's how much extra food we'll get. About 21, so 40, about 40 food. 40 food's pretty good for this small of a town. So we should add maybe an extra month or 2 of survival there. We could probably bring on a few more people, but I don't know, maybe not. Maybe we'll just leave it the way it is. Yeah, I do want to increase the population a little faster, though. We're at 28 out of 36 in our first regiment, so we're almost a full regiment. We still have 2 more families to move in, so that'll add 4 more. That'll put us at 32. Yeah, a couple more houses, and then we'll have what we need to get a full regiment. And then from there, we need to start getting a second one and a third one and so on and so forth. So I think what we should probably try to do here... Yeah, I think we need to take care of our food better before we expand too much faster. I might put a few more houses down, but let's... July, August... We have a couple months before we have to harvest. I also got a windmill going and a communal oven, so we'll start producing bread over here once this comes in, this harvest. And then I also wanted to make sure we had a farmhouse here, because the worst thing in the world is when you have an industry you don't want to move, and then you have to destroy stuff to fit something in that you forgot to build. So better just to do it now. We've got plenty of logs, so it shouldn't make too big of a difference. But once this stuff's ready to come in next month, then we can process it right away. That'll give us a little more leeway here. We got one more family coming in, and it looks like we still have 8 months supply. So I think, so September, October, November, December, January, February, that's 6 months. Yeah, we do have to be careful still. Gotta be pretty careful. I think I'll hold the population here, and then we'll look to expand again next year once we start getting more fish and berries again. And why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and get another set of fields going, and we'll do it flax, barley. I think probably right here is the best spot. So we'll do on the other side of the road, so it's still not too far in terms of like collection. And we'll do another set of 6 half Morgan fields, a little smaller. There we go, half Morgan, and we'll just do 6 of them right here. There we go. So another set of 6 fields, and we'll just set them all to wheat for now. It's kind of low, actually. Maybe we do rye. The thing is, rye is going to give you more. Rye is going to give you less. We get more of a yield, but you only get 1 bread per 1 rye sheath. That's a tough one. I'm just going to keep it simple. Let's just do straight wheat all across the board, just like that. All right, let's get some stuff planted here while we're waiting. And of course, right when that happens, we got a bandit camp. I've noticed they do that right before your harvesting season. I'm pretty sure it's on purpose because they want to screw up your harvesting season. So if we pull our troops, we probably will not collect anything, which I think is okay. If we let it grow until next year, it'll be a full, like a legit full harvest, and we'll just have a massive amount of wheat. So we just need to not starve for 8 months, which, assuming we don't add any more population, we should be fine. So let's go ahead and take out, let's take out these down here. We'll get the influence and the money. Okay, here they come. Let's go shield wall, back it up a little bit, and there we go. And they didn't really charge us. That's fine. We'll push forward. We got 30 versus 15 now. There's no way they're going to get a kill here. Yep. So easy win. Let's go collect our money. We've got 720 influence. So like I said, 1 more of these, and then we should be able to claim a region. Or just leave it. We go put the money in our treasury. We're up to just shy of 300 treasury. Now we need to get back and try to handle some of this harvest season in September. So yeah, like I said, we're not going to cut this up. I don't think it makes sense. We'll just leave it. We'll go ahead and plant this for next year as well, and we'll just harvest both of these at the same time and have a huge influx of wheat. There we go. So you can see the yield now increases. Well, it won't show yet. It should soon. Days left to harvest, basically another year. And then once that's done, we should see similar numbers to here. So 19, 20, 17. So whatever, 20 times 6 or 20 times 12. So we'll have like 400 wheat coming in, or 400 bread, essentially. Now, one other thing we can do in the meantime, since we don't have a whole lot of useful stuff to do, we could soak up all the clay that's in the area, and then we don't have to worry about that. So why don't we do that right now? Try and place this so we don't take up too many trees. Looks like we can get down to 5. Yep, so 5 right there, no big deal. And then we can just continue this road here, and we'll delete it later. There we go. So now we got a path. We'll take out all the clay. Maybe we'll convert that over to tiles, the roof tiles, and then we'll delete everything. What else can we do here? One thing we should probably do is start to build, or use our regional wealth to build out the pork. So if we go animal pen, and we'll do it on, how many of these do we need to save for industry? Maybe just these, actually. These 6 should be enough. So 2, we need 1 for, let's see, we need clothing. Or, you know what we could do is, this is not like the ideal setup. What I might do is knock these down later and build a blacksmith specifically right here, and then have it right next to the storehouse. Yeah, because This is just like a local area that it's like a temporary. It's kind of close to the storehouse, but the storehouse needs to be separated into specific, like we'll have a storehouse just for the iron, maybe put it over here so it's not too far in the travel times and all that. We could have a storehouse or more or less a granary over here that's just to deal with the bread. And obviously we have fish too. It doesn't take up that much space, so we'll probably do that. And then maybe one up here for all the vegetables and fruit that we produce. And then it can also handle the berries and stuff. So yeah, so anyways, point of bringing that up is we can just convert whatever we want up here. That's fine. So these can all be animal pens specifically for the pigs. There we go. Let's also get some log production down here. So there's a lack of flax and barley in this specific area. So we can just chop down all these trees and build some more housing here if we want. And then we'll start collecting those logs. Now each of these farms are going to cost us 25 regional wealth. That's not too bad. We have quite a bit right now. So let's start ordering the pigs. And that should help our food situation quite a bit as well. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we have a 7th one coming right now. And we'll put as many people as we can on this mining pit over here and get as much clay out as we can. I think it might take us 2 seasons to do this. We don't want to be messing with this during the growing and harvesting season. So we'll just do it during the winter time. That'll be our downtime industry. We're starting to get our first bits of pork coming in. So 11 in storage, and I think we probably have some out in the stalls already. No, we don't. Interesting. But that'll help stave off our starvation here. We're not really that close anyways. We're in January already and we still have 4 months left. Plus, as these start to produce, that'll increase that number a little bit, or at least make sure that it doesn't go down quite as fast. So yeah, down to 3. February, March, we'll still have plenty. Right, the AI is claiming another region, frost check. So we'll be down to 2 more once that's gone. We could contest, but I don't think it's really worth it. Let's see how many mercenaries we can get. We can get 3 companies, but this is basically not a company. This is only archers. Yeah, we wouldn't have a front line actually. It's brigands and archers. So that's probably not going to be a good idea. So we'll let it go. When it gets down to the last region, maybe we'll start contesting, or maybe the second to last. We'll see. Here we go. We're starting to come out of winter time. We have 26 clay left, so not quite full. And of course, another bandit camp. Let's go ahead and pull some workers here. And then we need to deal with it. Where is it? It's in the south. So we'll definitely get there before they do. At least they didn't do it right before harvest. Ooh, we got raiders near Burenbach. I believe that's the same region, isn't it? Yeah, it's this one. Where are they coming in at, though? Oh, crap. All right, we need to get back. They're going to go raid our settlements if we don't. Yeah, this is actually pretty bad. They have more troops than we do. Okay, well, let's... Yeah, I can't do much about it. Oh, they're right here already. And these guys are right here. We're going to have to... We'll just charge in, see if we can deal with them. I don't know what these guys are going to do. Oh, they're coming after us now. We're going to take losses here for sure. We're getting sandwiched. Come on, take that group out. And then it's a 1v1. Yeah, we lost somebody already. There we go. Not bad, though. Oh, nice. We only lost 1. That's not bad at all. All right, let's put somebody in the church and try and clean up those bodies. And then we're going to get down here and try and clear this out before the AI gets to it. Yeah, he's kind of close, but we're a little bit closer, I think. We're a little battered and beat up, but that's all right. We definitely can't let them take that. So if we have to, let's actually sprint just to get ahead just a little bit more. There they go. Okay, they're chasing us. Shield wall, we'll go defensive. And then once they make contact, we'll just push in. There we go. Yeah, looks like we got it. We did lose another person. Dang, man. That's rough. That is very rough. Okay, we got it. Let's put that in the treasury. That brings us up to 400. But let's get back. What did the AI do? I guess they just disbanded. That'll buy us some more time, though, at least. Because we got both the raid and the bandit camp. So that's a lot of influence that we just gained. We can get people back in the berry and the fishing. So they're not quite maxed out, so we won't lose efficiency there yet. That's good. We should be able to get all the food out of it. How are we doing on fuel? We're getting kind of low on fuel, actually. Let's go ahead and put somebody to chop. We need to get as much of this stuff done as we can before it is growing season. Actually, now might not be a bad time to increase our population. And I don't really want to build too much up here. Or do I? Yeah, actually, I don't mind building up here. We'll save some room for at least one right? One more farmhouse, I think, is reasonable. But let's see how far back can we go? Maybe a little further back. No, a little bit more. We want to be able to get our backyard extensions. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so let's build some housing. Try and get this to line up a little bit at least so we don't look like complete slobs. There we go. We'll get a street to go down, and that'll take it straight back to the church, and we'll have housing right here. Now, another thing we need to start working on is getting apiaries, because that'll increase the yield of our farmlands. They're kind of expensive though, at 50 each, so we need to make sure we're saving up to do that. The good thing is anything that's produced from here can go straight into the trading post, so that's not too bad. We can at least make some of that money back. So apiary, there we go. And you can see down here, this pollination should go up. We're at 0.11 right now, but as we get them installed, we can get up to 5 per region. This will go up, the yield. All right, we'll get a third apiary. We need maybe one more year to get the last 2. And then we got room for 2 more families to move in, so we'll have plenty of labor when it comes time to harvest. Actually, why don't we get another one of these farms? Let's get a farmhouse going right here. There we go. So that way we have an efficient drop-off spot. Let's go and set up our exports here. So honey and wax will go down to 0. So a couple days before harvest, we're going to pause. We'll reorganize. Oh my god, again, dude. Bandit camp right before it's harvesting season. That's really unfortunate. If we do it now, we might be able to get there and back in time. I don't know. But we can't let the AI get it because it's just going to be really bad for us if we do. So let's just sprint down there, take care of it, and then come back. Man, that sucks. Yeah, it's like 4 days before harvesting season. So what I'm going to do is pull all of our labor off of the stuff that's not essential, and we'll get ready to spam on these guys. There we go. So we've got 4 families on each farmhouse, which is overkill for sure, but that's fine. We just need to make sure we get it done. And also, it's only going to be the women because the men are all off fighting. Okay, here they come. Let's get set up again. Hopefully this time we don't lose anybody. Here they come. Yeah, they're charging right into our line, but there we go. Now we can start pushing. Perfect. They're dealt with. Sprint, dude. Sprint. Yeah, we're already a week. We're already over a week into the harvesting season. We may not even get back in time. So sprint, sprint, sprint. Get back up there. Are they doing okay? Yeah, see, this is the problem. There's only 1 person per family instead of the full 3. So it's like 1/3 of the labor. It's really, really bad to have this happen right around harvesting season. We might get back for half of it, which, dude, we're still not even close. Yeah, I think it's going to be a little less than half. So we're going to speed it up a little bit by disbanding, and then hopefully they all come out. Yeah, there they go. They're hitting the fields now. We got 10 days. Come on, everybody. You can get them all off the fields. I mean, it's not the end of the world if we don't get everything, because we're going to have way more food than we can handle for a while. But, I want to stock up a little bit so we can expand our population really quickly. And this is going to help us. 5 days, we're actually going to get it. Wow. I'm kind of surprised. 3 days left, 2 days. Yep, that's the last of it, so you got it. Now, what we don't want to do is start planting the same thing. I think what we need to do now is open it up to field crop rotation, so give me a few minutes or hours to get this sorted, because this always takes forever to do, but not a big deal. So I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. We got everything organized here, and it'll be ready for next year, but these guys need to still plow and everything. We got plenty to do. We've got a lot of workers, so we could probably, yeah, there goes the rotation. We can probably put some more fields out here. And if we get all this done in time, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll add some more fields to the sides here, and then maybe even some down the middle, and try and get a little more harvest out of this if we can. But looking at our harvest, we got 114 and 132, so quite a bit of wheat. Yeah, that is about 150, so about 300 bread. And if you look at our food storage right now, it's about 115, and that's good for 6 months. So we're going to be good for at least a couple years, even if we don't, a couple years if we don't add more housing. But we're going to add more housing, so that will actually add more anyways. So where do we want to put the new houses? I don't want to bunch them up too much in one area, although we kind of do, because we want these guys to be able to pick up their goods. So like these. Oh, you know what? I forgot. We need to do the apiary. Let's go ahead and do that. So 1, and we have enough for both. So there we go. That's 5 apiaries. And you can see here, current effect is 10%. So we should see an increased yield here once those are fully built. We were at 0.11 before, now we're at 0.13, so it's perfect. But anyways, we don't want these to be spread out all too far because the storehouse and the granary still need to be able to get to it. We definitely need more housing though, because I'm assuming our marketplace is full. Yeah, it is, look at that. So we don't want that. We want to have extra capacity there. Let's go ahead and build some housing. I guess we already have this part. We might as well just finish it off. So 4 more houses there. There we go. Harvesting season is done. Everything's planted. So what we're going to do is pull everybody but one from each of these. We still need somebody to thresh the wheat and turn it into actual grain. And then we need some laborers here to handle this. So the windmill will turn the grain into flour, and then flour into communal oven to turn into bread. Now, I don't really want this stuff to come here. Yeah, see, I don't want... yeah, I'm going to turn this off. So we don't want this stuff coming here. I don't even really want the barley here either, to be honest. Yeah, let's turn the barley off. All the wheat and flour and such, don't really want that to come here. Same thing with the malt. We'll have that go to a separate place. We do want the bread to come here though. The bread, the meat, those are fine. The reason being is it's an extra trip. You know what, actually, no, I take that back. This is a really good spot for it because, yeah, that's fine. We'll organize it later once we get our economy a bit more specialized. Let's go ahead and upgrade this granary too before I forget. So that should be fine. Actually, yeah, this pollination is 0.13. These are all built, right? But we still... No, yeah, we do. We have all 5. So it's maxed out. Pollination, and then, like I said, that does increase this. So hopefully that helps. We'll see. And there you go. You can see we're starting to get some bread. Oh, yeah, let's get another... We need to open up more stalls here. So another warehouse worker and granary. We are turning wheat into flour, and then the flour comes back here, turns into bread. And you can see our month's food is increasing as well. Perfect. And let's go ahead and prep these so that they can produce some meat. And they're taking another region. You bastards. All right. Hildebolt is up here. What does this one have? This one has the stone. Do we want to defend this one? And then this one, Budenbach. This one has just the food. So this one is much less useful. I mean, having extra stone isn't all that helpful either, unless you're trying to build big castles, which we're really not. Although I guess we could. No, I'm going to let it go. Let's just focus on getting our economy up and running and our population up. Once we have that, then we can defend with our own troops if we really need to. I really don't like using mercenaries because it's kind of cheap. It just makes the game a little bit too easy. So we'll see if we can avoid doing that. All right, this is all cosmetic stuff, but it does bother me. So I'm going to clean it up. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's see, are these guys done converting? No, so we'll let them to it a little bit longer. Let's get the rest of this clay out of the floor, out of the earth, and then we need to produce more firewood. Yeah, we should be good. We'll put up another 5 burgage plots up here across from the church. So it's just a pretty short distance to get to the granary anyway, so that should be easy to collect. And how are we doing here? This guy's putting out a lot of wheat flour. That's good. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, the farming is just so OP in the early game, especially. Like, this amount of farming outdoes like 5 or 6 of these ponds or berry patches, and for not a whole lot extra more labor, because you can just throw labor at it for a couple months and then you're done for the whole year. So I actually prefer it that way. But let's see, what do we want to do now? We've got, this is almost cleared out. We have a lot of iron saved up. We have 255 slabs, so I pulled everybody off of there so we can throw them at some other task. I think building is the most important one right now. So making sure that we have plenty of timber and planks, which it looks like we do. We might want to have a little more of a cushion now that we've got time. So let's go up to maybe 100 planks. That'll be our little cushion. And then I think also the firewood, we probably want to increase that a little bit. Okay, these guys are done threshing, so we're good there. Yep, everything is in the granary now. And then these houses, as they're being built, we're going to keep putting pigs. So that'll help us with our meat production. And then same thing over here. I'll keep these 6 free. Well, there's 2 that are already converted. These 4 extra ones, we'll keep them available. We are going to need a tailor. We're going to need a brewery. And then at some point we want to get away from the communal ovens and have the artisan do it, because it's just more efficient to do it there. Go. So we'll just upgrade all these. We'll spend most of our cash. And then we should probably start saving up some money so that we can put some apple farms up here, or probably not the apples. I think the pears are the most efficient ones. So we'll do some big pear farms up here, and that should be good for a while. We got another bandit camp. There's only one region it can be in, and it's right next to us, so we'll definitely be able to get there in time. And it's right at the end of winter. I mean, it's better than being right before our harvest season, so I guess I don't mind it this time. So let's get down there, wipe this out. All right, here they come. Again, same thing, shield wall, defensive. Let them come to us. They don't seem to be charging as much anymore. And then we just push from here. Oh, we lost somebody. Dude, how did we lose someone? That's a little strange because we have more people now than we did before, but we still ended up losing. So it is what it is. Let's take the money and go back. All right, we are done with this. Oh, we just updated the... Nice. We just updated the tools. That's one thing you got to look out for. If you have something that you know you're not going to use forever, you will use the full amount of tools and they go to waste. It's not a big deal in this case because we can make infinite tools. It just costs us a tiny bit of labor. But if you're short on tools, you want to make sure that you're careful where you're spending them. So, you know, if you know you're going to tear the building down, maybe use the slider and put it down to the lowest maintenance. But that's fine. So we get those laborers back. We can put them back on the mining pit, I guess. We don't really need it though. Still have 251. We should probably start increasing our economy here. So regional wealth, what should we be selling? Let's take a look at what's the most efficient trade here in terms of iron. So if we sell a spear, it's only worth 2. If we sell a sidearm, it's worth 6. The polearm is worth 4. I think they pencil out to be about the same though in terms of iron usage. So 1 iron produces 2 spears. So if you sell that, that's 4, right? And then you have to subtract out the planks, but planks are basically infinite for free. The sidearm is 2 iron with no planks, and that costs 6. So you basically get 3 per iron. And then the polearm is 1 and 1, if I'm not mistaken. So that might actually be the best. Yeah, 1 slab, 1 plank. But if we do this one, it's not going to put a drain on our yeah, if we do the sidearms, it's not going to drain our economy on the wood side. Also, we probably want to get regular foot troops rather than just spearmen. I think the sidearm troops are pretty good. So if we have those stocked up, not only will we make more money, but we'll also have them available when we want to start those troops. So something to consider. Let's go with the sidearm first. So we'll export up to... We'll leave at least 30 in stock. We'll switch this over to sidearms, and then we'll produce 50. So we'll sell 20 at a time. I think that's reasonable. And then we should be able to make decent money from that. And then we need that money to produce some more the food, essentially. We got raiders coming in about a year. It's fine. We'll be ready for it. And you can see most of the bread's been processed. We're up to 359 bread. So we've got over a year supply, which is exactly what I was talking about. We need to increase our population quickly so we can increase our troop count. And we need to start upgrading these guys as well. The more upgrades we do on our burgage plots, the more money we'll make passively. So, I mean, we'll make plenty of money with trade, but it's always good to have passive. Speaking of which, let's unlock that trade route. So, sidearm trade route, let's go ahead and pay for it. It's going to cost us 60, but that'll allow them to start trading it. We're not quite there yet because we still need some more sidearms. And I think what we should do now is start to set up over here. So, I want to get an idea of where we should not be building. So it looks like this forest is actually a good demarcation for where not to put. So it kind of like loops around right here. What about the flax? Flax I'm less concerned about. We're going to be needing a lot more barley than we need flax. So I guess this patch I'm not going to concern myself with too much. So let's go ahead and build kind of like this. And it kind of loops up and over. And then I don't know if does it deviate from there? Yeah, right here is not good at all for barley. We can continue this line. Yeah, why don't we do that? Let's go ahead and continue the line right here. And it'll come in kind of like that. So this is the barley protected area. We won't build here, but we will build veggies and fruit in this area. So what we'll want to do is put a centralized location where we put our granary. So something like this. And then all these fruit and veggies are going to send their fruit right here instead of having to go all the way down here. Obviously, that's way too far. So we'll set it up like that. And then I don't know what the setup is going to look like in terms of what these things will actually look like. So like we could do dividers or... So if we build a burgage plot like this, just standard straight burgage plot, make it a duplex, that gives us a plus 100 planning cost, which is, it's okay for veggies. I would like it to be a little bit bigger even though. So maybe we go a little wider. And I know we can be more efficient. Yeah, say 230. We could be more efficient if we make some weird shapes. Why don't we try to outline this area so we have something to snap to once we're all done. There we go. So if we do something like this, I know this is not a good shape. I'm just checking it out to see if we can even get something serviceable here. Yeah, it's going to give us some weird things. All right, what if we go the other way? So something like that, say 310. This is still wasting a lot of space, but it's not terrible. But 310 for this is not bad. And then if we do the same thing on this side, gives us 120. That's not good at all. Yeah, this side's a lot bigger, obviously. So anyways, I'm going to go through and try to figure out what kind of direction we can take this in. All right, here's how we're going to run it. I tried several different ways and I don't really want to mess with a bunch of weird shapes. So we're going to do it like this. We're getting average planning cost plus 220%. That's good. That means we can have really big backyards relative to how big the front is. So I think that's reasonable. It's going to be 6 duplexes, so 12 families. That's going to be for veggies, and then we'll do the fruits on this side, but we'll probably have to shape this a little bit better. So something like this. I don't think we can afford to go that far back though, because it's going to be hard for them to harvest. Yeah, let me mess with that. Now, if we cut it kind of short like this, we have 8, I think it was 8 duplexes. Yeah, 8 duplexes, so 16 more families, 310% average extra planning cost. So that would give us a decent coverage here, but yeah, I was hoping to be a bit more than what these guys were doing. They're at like 200 and something, because you need a lot more space for the fruits to produce a similar yield. But I think this is probably still plenty. And then I like the fact that they all feed into this one little road right here, which goes right to the granary. And then there's marketplaces on either side. So anybody working here is going to put those fruits and veggies up for sale quickly. And I think we'll probably run with that. I'm not going to build these yet, obviously, because it's a lot of people to support. And we need to make sure we have both the money to build this and then also the infrastructure to support that kind of population. So, but anyways, I'm glad this is done. Let's spend some time building it. We'll get ready for harvesting season. We're not going to get a whole lot of food this time, but we will get some other things we need to prepare for. So we need to start producing alcohol and clothing, which we can turn into armor. So we'll start working on that. Let's also start upgrading these burgage plots. We don't have a lot of negativity here, missing market goods. I think we're actually doing pretty good for that. One thing we could do is upgrade the church. That's an easy lift. That'll give you a lot in return. So to be able to do that, we need tiles. We need to make some mortar. We just build all this stuff. So we need a tile maker. These are all temporary, so I'm going to delete this once we're done. The mortar. And then we also need to import some stone, which we're not going to do just yet, but let's get this ready. And we'll do that at some point. So we'll get all these buildings done and then we'll come back. All right, and also our weapon production did catch up. We're at 17. Did we sell some yet? Yeah, we did. We sold a little bit of arms. So we'll start making good money from that. And we're going to need it because these are very expensive. So if we do this as an orchard, actually, how do we want to do this? Everything probably should be orchard, but I think we'll need to have at least some veggies here. So let's do the first one as an orchard though. We'll get a couple of them right here. We've got several buildings upgraded to level 2, and it looks like we're holding okay. So we have 6 of these things, and we're at, what, -3 between those? That's not that bad. So we can probably upgrade a few more, maybe some of these ones on the inside. The upgrades are really cheap because we have that perk, this one right here, the Regensburg Guildsman. So increase the burgage plot upgrades are very, very cheap. I think it's less than half even, or half. So pretty good. We do still need to do the wooden church upgrade. So let's get some people in here so we can convert all the clay tiles. The other thing, we need mortar. but we only need 10 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 10. So let's go ahead and put this limit up to 10 so we don't use all of our rough stone for other stuff. And then this one, we need to have dress stone up to 20, which means we need to import rough stone. So we'll have to spend some money here. And rough stone, import, it's going to cost us 13 each. Ooh, that's expensive, 260. But it's okay. Once we upgrade this once, it's done. We don't have to spend on it again. We don't have to spend money on maintenance. We will have to import rubble because the maintenance on a stone church is stone rubble. But this stuff's not that bad. So we'll get that going. And to get our orchard up here, or the pear, yeah, I guess it's an orchard. The pear orchard is going to be 324 per region, 315. We didn't build these yet, but so this one's a little bit bigger than the other one. But 324 is not bad. So in a previous run, I think I spent 540, so a little less than double, and it was producing quite a bit. So if we have all 6 of these producing, 3, 4, 5, yeah, all 6 of these producing, we should be more than okay. And then up here we can probably have a couple more, and then the rest, maybe we'll do some veggies. All right, we got our workers ready from the farmhouse. So 3 and 3 with 2 oxen each. That should be more than enough to knock this field out. Probably even more than that, but let's just make sure we don't miss anything this season, and then we'll adjust it later. We do still have room, so we'll have people moving in, which means we can throw more people at it. We can start another farm in a different region. We could add more mining and increase the amount that we're smelting. Again, dude, every time. Every time. It's almost like it's on purpose, huh? Okay, let's go deal with it. Yeah, that's pretty annoying. I have a feeling it has to do with the difficulty setting. So I don't remember them doing that on the other settings. But anyways, let's get down there and deal with this and then get back and farm. How much time do we have? We have a little more time this time. We'll probably get the fight done before harvesting, and then we'll be halfway there on the way back by the time the harvest starts. All right, here they come. There we go. Let's blast these guys out. We shouldn't be losing anybody. Nice, we didn't this time. Let's sprint, get that bandit camp, and get out of here. Now, they will probably try to take another region here soon. It's been a while. We've been snagging all the bandits from them, so they haven't been getting as much influence boost. But once they try to take this, we'll contest it, and then that'll give us, when we win it, that'll give it to us directly. So here we go. Get back, hire them, and then disband them immediately so that they can go right to work on the farming. Let's see, how much time do we have left? We're only 9 days in. This is going to be more than enough time. Yeah, look at that. They're already halfway done. Sucks that it's raining, though. That's unfortunate. That's going to kill off a lot of our crops. We're starting to get our rough cut stone, so that's perfect. Once we get our 20, then we'll stop the import. I just don't want to convert them over until we have everything we need. So, like, for example, this guy, we can pull these guys back. We have all 10 mortar. Yep, we do. So pull that back. Delete that building. We don't need that ever again. We still have plenty of tile to make. Yeah, 57 clay, so we'll leave them in there. They can keep converting. We can throw a few more people at the farms. And then I think what we'll probably do over the winter time is we'll start setting up. We're going to need some people like weavers, and then we need, what do you call it, a tailor. So we'll get a tailor, a weaver, a brewer. Yeah, a brewer, and then probably a bakery. Yeah, we might need to build a special burgage plot in here, but it's going to be a while for them to build. That's the problem, because these guys are going to get occupied first before anything we build over here. So but we'll probably just do temporary ones and then relocate them later. It's not that big of a deal. But the harvest looks like it's done. We still have 7 days left. So yeah, I think we can expand this and do another set, maybe like 2 or yeah, probably about 2 more Morgan worth. So 4 of these half Morgan fields, I think would be enough, and we'd probably still have a little bit of time. And obviously, if we don't have to deal with bandits exactly at that time, right before harvest, then we won't. It'll make it even easier. We can have even more than that. But anyways, let's finish up this harvest, and we'll talk about what we're going to do over the winter. Oh boy, here he goes. So, Budenbach, he is trying to claim. And what we need to do is hire mercenaries to do this. Hopefully we get better ones. Not really. Yeah, not really, actually. It's still 3 brigands, 2 archers, and then 1 mercenary spear and 1 infantry. So they're not terrible. Actually, while we have everybody out and farming, why don't we just go ahead and do that? Let's add some more fields. So this is a pretty good spot. We're getting another half Morgan there. And yeah, I see we're at the edge. That's where the lake is. And I don't really want to block this in. Let's actually get a ring around the lake just so that we have some room to move. There we go. We've got 3 more Morgans set up. I'm trying to keep it even so that we get a nice even yield of crops each year. The problem is if you don't have an even number for your 3 rotation, then you're going to have one year where you get more of one good than the other, and then you're going to staff for the peak. Staffing for the peak is usually not a good idea unless you absolutely have to. That's usually why you have seasonal workers, but you can't hire seasonal workers here. So this should be okay for a bit, and then like I said, we'll get some more farms down here at some point. We can expand over here. There's a lot of good farmland in this area, but like I said, we're just kind of try to expand here to make use of it for now. So October, yeah, we should be able to get these in the ground. Now we got to start dealing with these guys. So let's go ahead and hire our mercenaries. 1, 2, and 3, and that's costing us 180. It's not that bad. And let's get everybody down here. So we need to start the claim, or fight the claim before they get to 0. Should we get our spears down here too? That might not be a bad idea. The only problem is we're in the middle of harvest. I don't really want to do that. The downside, or the only risk, is if we don't have enough troops here to deal with their what they're going to attack with. That could be a big problem. Let's go ahead and contest. Yeah, see, these brigands are just not very good. All right, here we go. What are they coming in with? The usual? Yeah, the usual. And we have units all over the place. That is not good, actually. We need to stay away so that the fight doesn't start. Where are they contesting anyways? Interesting. They're having us go to that area. That's fine. That'll give us time to get our troops organized. So we'll have them all group up right here. We'll probably have to pay an extra month of wages, but that's not really that big of a deal. Right, yeah, here comes their army. So anyways, these guys will come down. If we can get everything in the ground before then, I wouldn't mind pulling these spearmen to come help, but we definitely need to make sure our crops are in order. That is definitely priority number 1. If we don't defend this, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, look at, they're just gonna walk right by us. Oh, they're fighting. Why are they fighting? Why the heck are you guys fighting? Idiots. Well, it's good for us though, because they're heavily outnumbered right here. Oh, they sent... Oh, wow. That's not good. Yeah, they're attacking ours now. Oh, crap, dude. This game, man. Alright, let's get into position here. Yeah, they're coming back to attack. One of our guys broke. That's not good. They're breaking. Yeah, they're gone. Okay, we don't want to lose our archers. Like I said, the brigands are trash. I already knew they weren't going to hold. And they definitely did not disappoint there. They didn't hold for beans. Alright, these guys are chasing. Are they going to catch us? Are you kidding me? Where's our reinforcements? Okay, these guys are getting close, but they're not going to get there in time. Yeah, they're going to catch us. Dude, get out of here, man. Like, we're not even at the battlefield. Why are they attacking us? Oh, come on, get down here. You guys got to run. We lost a handful of them. We still have 29 of them. That's fine. So here, just everything you got, throw everything you have at these guys. They're exhausted from chasing, I bet. So my hope is that they're going to be really weak. Yep, they just instantly broke. Okay, so that could be to our advantage. They have their retinue coming as well. The biggest issue, and I already suspect this is what's going to happen, is they're going to summon another army right after this if we don't win it quick enough. It's just what the AI does. They just cheat. They just flat out cheat. So can we take this guy out quickly? Okay, we need to take out the archers. So let's go archer v archer. There we go. Yep, we dealt with the retinue. We need to stop these guys, and then the archers should be fine. They should be able to handle that on their own. So spears can go defensive. We'll flank them with our light infantry. There we go. Get in there and attack. Perfect. Where's their archers? We might have broken their archers. I don't see them anymore. Okay, we need to get down here and help these guys now. Yep, they're broken. All right, now it says they have more units. Dude, what the heck, man? Another army. They have another army. God, I hate when they do this. This is so cheap, man. We just destroyed a full army. Can we hire more mercenaries? No. And I don't think we can beat this. This is another full stack. Literally what we just destroyed. Or no, it's more, they hired more mercenaries. I think that's what they did. Okay, so we might have to just give up on this, unfortunately. Yeah, it's going to be a 4 versus 6. And we already have injured people here, so we're not even at full. We'll go down there. No, we have 5 days. We have 5 days. Why are we going to pay another 150 for 5 days? And then we're going to re-up them. I'm just going to disband them. whatever, they can have it. Oh boy. So did we at least get our crops in the floor? November, we still have the rest of the month. Yeah, we should be fine here. And I don't think an extra spear militia group would have made a difference here. Yeah, look at that. They have 3 more, not just 2 more. They have 3 more here. So not much we can do about that, actually. Yeah, we're just gonna let's not feed here. So we need to really ramp up our army. We do have a decent amount of people though. So 32 occupied, we can get 64, almost 2 full groups. Yeah, we need more. We need to expand quite a bit faster now. So we'll probably start getting these to duplexes. We can get pairs in the ground. Let's wait until next year though. Let's wait one more. This one, we need to go ahead and assign some stuff here. So we only want veggies. We could probably do the berries here too. And then also the fruits. So apples, yeah, veggies, fruit, and berries. We don't want anything else coming back here. And then we need to make sure we're not accepting that stuff over here. Except for the berries, we'll leave the berries here for now. So no fruits, no veggies, and then that'll force it to come up here. So let's go ahead and relocate this forger hut. Probably just put it right over here. And then that means we can get rid of this road and make it look a little bit more natural now. So what does that look like? The barley, yeah, the barley is what we're more interested in. And we can make it just curve back around here. So that looks good. So I think given that there's no chance that we're going to win this, I think we just focus on defense now. So we'll give up on this one. We were planning on sticking to one region anyways, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. Just a little annoying that they cheat so much. Yeah, I guess the strategy now is if we're going to fight, we get our army ready to go and in the area so that we can immediately attack them as soon as they spawn off the map. Because it seems like there's a cooldown, and if you wait too long, that cooldown resets and they can just hire another group. So not a big deal. Let's just, like I said, we'll focus on defense for now. We'll build up our militia to max, and then we'll go from there. We should probably get another set of spears ready. I think that would be a good idea. We have enough for, wow, almost 2 full stacks. Yeah, we need a few more people and just a little bit more equipment, and then we'll be there. So let's flip this guy back to spears for a minute. All right, let's go ahead and pull everybody back from the farmhouses, and we need to figure out what we're going to do over the winter time. So we have an excess of labor. And I think what we should probably do is work on converting this stuff. So flax can get converted. Oh, you know what? We can upgrade the church as well, right? No, we need 20. Yeah, we have our full 20. So let me turn off this trades to make sure that we don't accidentally keep buying it. So we have exactly as much as we need. Stonemason. So let's go ahead and convert that. Yep, that will allow us to upgrade the wooden church and then get rid of some of this negativity. So if we can get that, see, animal products and fruits. So fruits we're fixing up here, no problem. Beverages we're fixing right here with the barley. So this is looking really good. We can get, I'm thinking maybe one of these guys. Yeah, we'll need a brewer, need somebody to do the clothing and armor. So I'm real nervous about doing the clothing. I feel like it's just going to disappear. So we'll probably start with gambesons first and make sure we have enough soldiers that can wear it. The other thing is we need an armorer because we have plenty of metal. Let's also put another person in our bloomery because it looks like we're starting to pile up iron ore. What about this? Did we get rid of all the clay? We did. So we can get rid of these. We can delete this building. We'll free up some space here. And then we're ready to go. Food-wise, are we good on food? Yeah, we have 11 months. And the reason we don't want to convert this right away is because this is very low. And if you look at bread and all the flour and stuff, it actually is low. So you decay much slower if you keep it in wheat form. So we won't put anybody on there just yet until we need the food. Actually, did we get rid of all the food here? So yeah, we had a very low wheat harvest, but that's because we had already drained these lands of wheat. Next year is going to be slightly better. And then the third year is going to be back to normal. So this will have enough time to recover fully after 2 years of not growing wheat. So that should be good. So let's go ahead and upgrade 1 tailor shop and 1 brewery. And I think the armor can wait a little bit because the helmets do help a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. Really, the mail is the big thing. That's when you really want to have the armor. But we can't do that until we get to tier 3. And I don't even know if we can get to tier 3 because last time I ran into the clothing bug. So we'll see. There might be a workaround that I'll try this time. But I think for now, this should be okay. So brewery, clothing or armor. Yeah, just the Gambison for now should be fine. So that'll take care of these things. We've got the church upgrade. I think we're good to go. I just need to get the malt. And I think the malt... I'm just going to centralize everything for now, but like I said, we'll probably split stuff off into specialized areas. So the malt needs to be next to the granary. And then the weaver, we need these supplies to go away. Yep, and I'll put that down. So that's what we're doing next. Nice. The AI hired more troops. Is this the third set? Yeah, oh no, how many have there been? Second, I think we killed the first one. Oh, you know what? These are just the regular mercenaries. That's what that is. Yeah, this is the second set. And like, they've had, I don't even know how many troops. But that would be cool if we had a castle or something we can try to defend. You know, maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll try and build a castle and just defend. And then once we get powerful enough, we'll expand outward. I don't know. Something to think about. And as we're heading into the season where we can actually plant some stuff, let's start to upgrade some of these. So we have 617 regional wealth. Let's go ahead and put 324 into pairs. And then I'm also going to expand this into a duplex. We still have some openings here that need to get filled first, but we do need a duplex here to get both families working on that. So that should help. All right, there we go. Peace declared. They gave up on the fight because they won, so they're sending everybody home. Look at that massive army. Hopefully when they attack our main one, we don't have to fight that much, because I think that'd be a guaranteed loss. But yeah, this was kind of the plan all along, but in my testing, I was able to keep one of these when I contested it, because he wasn't sending 10 armies, he was sending like 1 or 2, and I was able to beat him. But yeah, I think we're still okay. I think we're all right. And we're good to go on the church upgrade. Let's go ahead and upgrade that. Like I said, that should help stave off some of the negativity we're getting here. If the only thing we're short on is clothing, we should be able to upgrade everything, I think, because there should be enough positives to overcome that. And that should increase our regional wealth income by quite a bit as well. Let's upgrade our second pair plot. So that'll be 2 sets of pairs. We'll go ahead and upgrade that to a duplex as well. So these ones are ready to go. We're just waiting for the ground thaw, and then we'll start planting trees. We'll do that on both of these. Right, did we get... Yeah, we got 1 more family here, 2 more to go, and then we'll start putting in families in the duplex. But if we look at our troops, we are doing okay, actually. We have... I think we have enough shields and spears. We just need people. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and switch this back to tools. So we're starting to run low on tools, but we have plenty of spears. Planks. Looks like everything's doing okay. And for the tailor shop, we switched it over to Gambeson's, and he's producing up to 30, and we will equip as many as we can. Yeah, you can see here they're starting to equip them. So 7 in that one. And then once they stop equipping, we'll build up a stockpile up to 30 here. I might do more than that. Maybe we'll do 50. And then we can sell down to 30 from here. That way we can sell off some of the excess, something like that. We'll see. I'm not too concerned about money for this region. And then the other thing I was going to mention, we need to get all 6 regiments of militia before we build our manor house, if we want to have the biggest possible militia size. So you can get up to 6 units before you cap out. So basically we need to figure out what kind of composition we want to make. Do we want to have all spears? Do we want to have some footmen? I would like to probably skip the polearm and skip the archer militia. We'll probably get some crossbows. We could also do footmen and spears. So I don't know what we'll do for there. Maybe 2 and 2 and then 2 crossbows. Or maybe it's, yeah, I don't know. I was going to say maybe we can do heavier reliance on ranged weapons, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Because if they get bum rushed, they're just dead. They're not good in melee. So I don't know. Something to think about. But yeah, we need to get this sorted out before we build our manor house. So we'll probably do that soon. Now, if we look at these, the barley, malt, and ale. So they're all very low. So there's no benefit to holding off. I think we're not going to put any limits on what we convert. We're just going to convert everything over to ale right away. Might as well. Just let this guy do his thing. And we're producing 38 in 30 days. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's not bad at all. All right, we do need to get a place for the ale to be served. So let's go ahead and get a small tavern. Probably close to the brewery, I think would be appropriate. And then the only consideration here is what other industries do we want to have in this area? Because I want to make sure that we're being efficient with our placement. So like right here would be good, close to the granary, easy to stock. But I feel like the alehouse is probably, or the tavern is probably pretty easy to stock up. I don't think I'm too worried about that. So if we put it further away, I wouldn't mind that too much either. Maybe even somewhere over here. Yeah, okay, we'll put it over here. So it's going to be central to all of our housing and not too far away from the granary. Here we go. Small tavern is done. If we want to upgrade it, we can supply up to 50 burgage plots with ale. Right now it's only 15. We don't have that many people anyways that are of a tier 2, right? How many do we have? 5, 6? We have 9 level 2 families. Did I upgrade more? No, it's just these. How am I getting 9? Okay, yeah, I do remember now. So I upgraded these 3 to test it. So that makes sense. And I think we're okay to keep upgrading, because if we look here now, church access is fixed. Beverages are going to be fixed right now. Fruits are going to be fixed soon. Yeah, so I think we just start upgrading. And because we have that perk, it's really cheap to upgrade these. Let's just do maybe 3 at a time, just so that we don't overwhelm ourselves. And then we should be good to go. These guys are just about to cap out, so we'll have 2 full stacks. And we've got 21 infantry with gambesons. That's really good. And we've already worked through all of our malt, the barley into malt. You can see here now we're just waiting for the brewer to catch up and turn all that over. So I pulled the workers from the malt house. Weaver's workshop has still got a little bit to go, 9 more. So they're almost done. And then we've got 5 gambeson in storage, which means these guys have probably maxed out. So that means we need to upgrade more burgage plots to be able to get people that can actually afford to wear it. The other thing I was thinking is we probably need to just upgrade one to an armor smith. I'm just going to do that. It's fine. So let's get Armor's Workshop. We'll get the helmet. Everybody can wear the helmet. It's at least a small bit of protection. I know it doesn't make that big of a difference, but we're sitting on 238 iron slabs, so there's probably no reason not to do it. And then let's go ahead and continue upgrading. So we'll get these 3. And then that'll be this small tavern maxed out. We can supply up to 15. So we need to upgrade this again if we want to get higher than that. Now, how much stone do we have left? We have 67 rubble stone. The other consideration here, I thought the small stone church required upkeep. Yeah, I thought it had an upkeep of rubble stone. So I'm kind of confused on that, why that's not showing up. Maybe you have to, yeah, there it is. Okay, so if we don't put somebody in, it doesn't require it. That's fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to max this slider out, because what that does is it increases our influence. If we put this down to normal, there's no effect. If we put it down, you lose influence. So obviously we don't want to lose influence. We'll convert 8 stone, or well, technically it's 6, right? Because you have to pay 2 anyways. So if we do 8 per year, now do you still get that? You don't. So we have to have somebody in there full time. That may be not worth it. Maybe that's not worth it. I know we'll need it when we start fighting here anyways, because the bodies will need to be buried somewhere. And what I'm going to do to make sure we don't ever run out of rubble stone, let's make sure we import. We'll import up to, say, 30 should be plenty. Let's go 50 just to be safe. So once we get below 50, we'll start importing them and paying for it, just to make sure we don't run out. Is there anything else we want to import? I don't think so, because we pretty much have like the perfect region here. But we do want to start exporting some stuff. Yeah, at some point we'll need to start exporting. We will need more regional wealth so that we can get more pairs going. But I mean, I think the 2 should be plenty for now. 2. Yeah, so why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and upgrade our tavern so that we can cover more. We'll start upgrading more burgage plots as well. Oh, I just realized we have a raid coming in 2 months, so we'll deal with that. That's going to give us a little bit more influence boost. Yep, there they are. How close are they? They are directly on our lands already, so that's pretty good. And also, let's go ahead and put somebody back in the church, because, like I said, we're going to need bodies to be buried here. All right, let's get our troops up. All right, where are they? I know they came in from here. Oh, yeah, there they are. 1, 2, oh my god, how many are there? There should be 4 at most, which means we need to keep our units close together so that we can get local superiority. We're going to take some losses here, but that's all right. Let's go ahead and use shield wall. Oh, there they are. And they're just ignoring our troops. Lovely. So, yeah, they're coming up here. Do not kill my oxen, please. Let's go ahead and straighten our line out here a bit. Oh, crap. All right, I'm going to move this guy off. He should run into that. Yep, perfect. All right, so they're occupied. Let's go ahead and push. They're occupied. Let's push. There's one more coming. Yeah, we need to clean this up so we can get down there and help. That's a lot of troops. It's a 3v1 right now. Oh boy. Hopefully these are the ones that have the gambeson. I think so. I think it is that group actually. 5 left. Come on, 4. Dude, they are going all the way to the end this time. Alright, they're dead. Let's hurry up. Push down here. There we go. Another one. Only 3 losses so far. Yeah, 3 losses. That's not bad at all. And I believe that's as bad as these raids are going to get. Obviously, we have to deal with the Baron. That's going to be a different story. But in terms of raiding, 2 groups of Spear Militia seems to be more than enough. Let's go ahead and put enough people in here to clean up those bodies quickly, because that's a lot of bodies. And then as far as armor goes, let's start with the helmets. We'll go up to a surplus of 30, 20. These are kind of expensive. They used to be 1 iron slab, now they're 2. So let's do a little bit less. We'll do 20 helmets. Yeah, that's going to use up a lot of our iron. But also we have a lot to spare anyways. Let's just go up to 30. Yeah, because we're going to need 1 for each troop in here. So that's, what, 72 times 2, so 144. We'll end up using 144 of that just for the troops, plus another 60 for supply. So about 200. So we'll take this down to roughly, yeah, close to 0, but that's okay, because we shouldn't be using too much for tools or spear replacement. That doesn't require that much iron to do that. Yeah, see, it's already caught up. Let's switch this back. Actually, we still have sidearms. Are they not selling? Yeah, we're not selling the sidearms right now because we're just not producing enough. What we need to do is get another mining pit going here in the near future so that we can extract more, and then we can get a second bloomery. Yeah, see, this one can't really keep up even though it's got 2 people in there. We could increase the maintenance. So it goes from 3 to 12 per year, but it increases labor effect, I believe, by 50%. So then what we'd have to do is figure out, okay, is this extra, what is that, 9? Is that extra 9 iron per year worth the increase in iron usage, right? Because these cost 1 iron each to produce. If we have an infinite supply of iron, it might actually be. Yeah, we could do the same thing here. So 8, it's another 6 more. It's only useful if you're short on laborers and have an excess of supplies. As of right now, I feel like we have more laborers and not enough supplies. So at some point we'll probably do that, but right now we're just going to leave it right now. Let's get up to harvesting season and then we'll switch. We got to make sure we have people in there and animals, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, one thing I want to start doing now is separating this large storage for any of the metalworking stuff. So this bloomery, I might relocate over here somewhere. And then we need to build multiple. Oh boy. I can't really fit much in here, man. Yeah, I don't think I can get a... Maybe I can get 2 if I'm real careful. Let me see what I can do. There we go. So I was able to get 2 in here. I just had to redo the road that was around the windmill. There's a little bit of space over here as well. I might be able to fit like a pack station. No, it's too tight for that, and I doubt we can fit. I could probably fit this if I redo the road again. Why don't I do that? Go. And then we'll just have to move it just a little bit. There we go. So this is about as optimized as I can get it. And then we'll delete this at some point and redo it. We'll put something else here. Maybe another malt house, and we can just piggyback off of this. So we'll see. Let me get this thing up and running first. And then we'll also get a second mining pit. I don't know that we'll occupy it just yet, but we'll at least get it built. Right, this is done. We're upgrading this warehouse and the storehouse. And what I'm going to do is turn off allow market stall setups. Their only job is to collect materials and move stuff around. So this guy is allowed to do the stalls because that's where the firewood comes from. And I guess we'll have him hold all these other materials as well. I don't really see a problem with that, holding the tools, weapons, etc. We could move it up here too. I guess it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, we'll figure that out. There's no need to min-max it completely, but just get it a little bit more efficient, I think. And then this bloomery needs to go away at some point once we relocate. That's not a big deal. We'll do that later, though. So that's going. We've got 2 pear farms. We'll get a 3rd here once we have the cash. We actually have the cash, so why don't we start doing that? And then we'll get a duplex, another person running there. And we don't have a source of herbs for medicine, so when people get sick. So I'm going to upgrade this forager hut. We'll leave them in there permanently, and we'll have them store it up here. Let's make sure that these guys don't collect herbs. So we'll disallow that. And then once we start getting our first harvest, we'll have to permanently put somebody in here in this granary, which I think June, July, August, September. So in like 3 or 4 months, we'll be able to do that. Yeah, we'll start getting a yield in September. I'm going to add a few more farms here, and we're going to do it, if this is vertical, then I guess this would be considered horizontal. So we'll do some horizontal farms here, And I don't want to get too far away from this farmhouse, so we might have to put another farmhouse over here. Yeah, we should probably put a road down here as well, so that when they're done, the ox has a good place to go to. Sometimes they do some weird things if you don't have a road anywhere nearby. But anyways, let me get this set up on a crop rotation. There we go. So that is everything spaced out evenly, so we're getting a little bit more. And then let's put some people back on the farm. It's still June, July, August, September. Yeah, we're not going to get much from it, but whatever. These guys aren't doing anything right now anyway, so we might as well send them out. All right, it is time to turn off berries from here, and we will only accept berries up here. And we have an employee in there, so they'll have a pretty easy job year-round, just collecting berries and collecting these when it's harvesting season, the pears. So that should be good for a while, and then, like I said, we'll start adding more as we go, but I don't think we're going to need all this whole row of pears for how much population we have here anyways. We'll obviously need to increase our population if we want to get to the max. Oh, nice. Look at that, actually. I didn't realize. Helmets are coming in nicely, so 25, 25. Even the Gambesons, 29 and 12. So I've been upgrading these guys. I just have this row right here to upgrade, and then we'll have them, everything in here, all at tier 2. And what did that do to our iron? It's actually still at 228, so we've been holding pretty steady there. Yeah, and then we need to get more over here. How's this mine doing? 509, so it's still like only halfway from what it started. So we got plenty of time before we have to upgrade it. But yeah, I think everything's looking pretty good here. I'm just going to get maybe 1 or 2 more months in, June, July, August. Yeah, and then we'll start worrying about harvest. All right, it's harvesting season. Let's take a close look at how things are going to go here. So we've got a little bit more field coverage. We've got 4 and 4. I don't know if that's going to be enough, so let's put another family. We'll go 5 and 5. 10 people total should be more than enough to cover this with 2 oxen. Well, you know what, actually? What if we put 2 families on here and then 2 more oxen? That would be 6 oxen, 10 families. I think that's probably good. I've been expanding our oxen population and just kind of dotting them around. So like we've got a stable here, obviously the ones by each of these farmhouses, etc. So we'll just keep increasing population of that. We have room for 3 more, so it just takes time to build them up. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. And then also these guys should be harvesting right now. So let's make sure. Going home, harvesting. They're not going to do too much harvesting right now, just because it's only the first year of them planting. So we'll only get a little bit, but yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. And then obviously this granary needs to start collecting those and putting them in the shop here, the pantry. Now I've noticed there's no berries here for some reason. I'm wondering, does this might have max berries still. So if we come here to the granary, food variety, berries is still 36, yeah. So I think once these berries get eaten, they'll start putting them in the stall up there. Warehouse capacity. Yeah, I think we're good. We're good on most everything. Approval is still not really dipping below, even though we've upgraded just about everybody. So I think we're good. Over wintertime, we'll upgrade the rest of these to tier 2. We'll upgrade these to tier 2 and duplexes, and then we'll see what the approval shakes out like. But as of right now, it seems like we're okay. And then pretty soon we're going to have fruit, so that'll stop that loss. And then it's just the garments we have to worry about. So yeah, right now let's keep an eye on the harvest. I'm really curious to see if they're going to be able to get everything. I'm pretty sure they will. Yeah, it's only, what, 9, almost 10 days in, and we're close to halfway done, it looks like. So I think it should be okay. We're 2/3 of the way through, and looks like we still have a couple of fields back here that aren't really getting picked. So it's going to be close. We might need a few more people for the fields. Yeah, because come next year, these will be full. Like, we planted these 3 months before harvest, so they're not going to really produce much, but next year they will. Yeah, see, they're just barely getting to it right now, so we definitely need more people. I don't know if more oxen would help. There it goes. So it just deleted everything. All right. What did we do for harvest? And is there still stuff on the fields, or did they pick everything up? Yeah, there's still stuff on the fields, but we can get some idea. 308 flax, 195 barley, and 81 wheat. And there's still some out on the field that we need to collect. So that's going to be a lot of clothing. We can definitely get rid of all that. The barley, I think this is probably more than enough for what we need. I don't think this is enough, though. The wheat is still a little weak. I knew that was going to be weak, but that's mostly because this year was the second year of recovery. So it's better than last year, but not quite back to full. Next year is going to be the full harvest. So we'll have to see if that's going to be enough. Let's go and put a few more people on. Actually, we'll do that next year for next year's harvest. How do we do up here for pears? So these guys produced 16, 11, and this is going to be 0. Yeah, because we just planted that one. And then some of that should end up in the shop, maybe. Are they down in these shops? Because that's something they should have fixed in the last patch, but please tell me. Yep, they came all the way down here. Come on, game. You've got a shop right next to you, bro. Use this one. All right. What I might need to do is pull somebody out of this so that we can use this one up here. But yeah, that's... the problem is their fill order is not closest stall. It's what's the next one that's empty. So like the first stall you start will always be full. It seems like second one will be full. And then the third one, it's partially full. So even if we add more people up here, it doesn't matter because they're going to fill this one until it's full. And then they will start to put supplies up here. So really not a good system. They need to change the way that the food stalls get filled. But we'll work around it. We'll make it work. All right, we're just finishing up planting season. We got 3 or 4 more days left, and we have just enough to do it. So 4 and 4, I think is reasonable. If I move this farmhouse closer, we could probably get it done a little faster. I just put it here so that we can have more farmlands in here. And what I might do is double up, put a second one right here, because it feels like one of the biggest things that's slowing us down is getting the stuff off the field, and that is only sped up by having more oxen. So we'll have to use more of this space, I think, for a farmhouse. I don't think we can get another one right here, can we? Let's try it out. So can we squeak one in here? No, there's no way. Yeah, that's not going to work. Can definitely fit some up here, though. The other option is we could relocate this charcoal kiln, which obviously we should do anyways. The woodcutter and the charcoal kiln can go just about anywhere. So that's not a big deal. Maybe we'll end up doing that, and then we'll just decommission this one for now. Yeah, because having 4 with 2 people each, 2 oxen each, that would be 8 people instead of the 12 we have right now. I think it might be enough, actually, but maybe not. Well, either way, even if we do the same 12, it'll be 3, 3, 3, and 3 with 8 oxen total instead of right now we have 6. I'll rearrange it during the winter months. We'll see what we end up doing, but I think that should be okay. And yep, they're still not using this food stall. Hopefully it's this guy that's stocking it though, because I don't want these guys to come all the way up there to grab the pears and then all the way back here to shove it in the stalls. That's the biggest thing that I'm concerned about, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. All right, that's all done. We just need to get the sheaves turned into grain, so we'll do that, and then we'll start processing this into food. Food stocks are going down below 9 months, so let's start converting that. And then we got to turn our malt house back on, and then I need to readjust the weaver's workshop. So I think I'm going to put it vertically, because if I do that, I should be able to squeeze more in. So I could put 1, 2 right here, and then there's that weird little space behind. I don't think we can fit anything back there. Actually, I take that back. I can fit 2 right here because I just had it positioned poorly last time. So that'll be directly across from the large storehouse. That's going to be using all that. Actually, let's get this sorted out because this is one of the big ones. It needs to be redone. So we want all the flax to come here. Blanks. Let me think through this real quick. I need to sort some stuff out here. So here's what we're going to do. Anything that's produced from the workshops is going to go here. Any of their input goods are going to go here as well. So planks, linen, iron, flax, iron slabs, and then obviously all the commodities and military stuff. So we're not accepting any fuel or firewood. Same thing with wax and tiles and all that stuff. We'll let the other one handle it. So we'll go like that. We're going to need at least 1 worker there to get that going, but we turn off the market stall setup because we only want these families to focus on collecting goods. So that should be good. Let's get rid of this bloomery. These ones are already running, so that's good. We need to turn off this stuff here. And you know, I don't mind collecting certain things here, like the tools. If these guys are busy, these guys can pick up the tools, but I don't want flax coming here. Don't want the metal, the slabs. I don't want any of that stuff. And then same thing, I don't mind these guys collecting this stuff just because it doesn't really matter if it's like 1 block away or not. But I do want to relieve some of the pressure off of this one. Because if you look at how much supplies are in here now, it's getting kind of full. Yeah, 1,700 out of 2,500. So once we take flax away, that's going to relieve a lot of pressure from this one. All right, so we should be good there. I'm going to relocate the woodcutter's lodge over here in the charcoal kiln. So I'm going to end up deleting these. Let's actually start clearing that out. Clear both of these. And also what I think would be a better idea is to not allow these guys to collect firewood. So we'll stop collecting that. We'll only allow charcoal in here. That way these guys the charcoal kiln will grab all of their supply directly from here. And then the only thing that comes back is going to be the charcoal. So saves them a trip. It's kind of a long trip. Although it shouldn't be as bad now because we did relieve some of their duties, their collection duties. Right, they're not collecting the iron, they're not collecting a lot of that stuff now, so it should be a little bit easier for them. So we'll do that. We'll start clearing out a lot of these trees, and at some point we'll have to start replacing these trees, but I think we're still a long ways away from that, so that should be good. Let's also start producing some crossbows. I know for sure we want that, 100%. I just don't know how many, so let's start producing it. I'm going to use our last shop over here to do the bow ear. The other things we need is we can get rid of this communal oven and replace it with a tier 2 bakery shop. So we'll probably just build it right in here. Maybe do a duplex, something like that. We'll see. What else? We don't need a butcher because we're not going to be doing that. Yeah, I think we're doing all right. But yeah, let's get this made and then we'll start producing some crossbows. We'll get a regiment up of that. So we'll have 2 full spears and they're almost all decked out. They have 29 gambeson. 36 helmets. That's pretty good. Right now, crossbow. Oh, I didn't realize. Crossbow requires iron parts, not metal slabs. And then iron parts we can produce at the blacksmith. And it's the same thing. It's just one extra step. So why don't we produce some of those? How many tools do we have? We're at 24 tools. We're good on that for a while. Let's make sure we don't produce too many iron parts. We'll go up to 30. And then crossbows will go up to 30 as well. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, and once we get some of that, we will start another regiment. How many people do we have? 120, so that means we have about 90? I think about 90 males, something like that. Anyways, we need more population to get another group going. And I know we already have a lot, but let's go ahead and upgrade at least one more of these. Let's get another orchard. Or should we just do all of them? It's probably a good idea just to do all of them. Whatever. If we have too much, we could just end up selling it. It's no big deal. We need more regional wealth to do this for sure, because this is going to be about 300 each, so we'll have enough to maybe do 2 right now. But I'd like to get the seeds in the ground. Not the seeds, but I guess they plant the saplings or the trees. So we'll get that going as soon as we can, and hopefully increase our food production, because I do want to increase the amount of regular burgage plots we have over here, so we can get more pigs. I'm worried that we're going to run out at some point. Like right now we're okay, but at some point that may not be okay. And then how are we doing? Yeah, looks good here. Oh, we're starting to get crossbows as well. That was fast. Oh crap, I did not allow iron parts. We need to allow that here, and then we need to disallow that here. Yeah, don't take that. That's fine. Here we go. This one's only 288. That's not too bad. 279. We don't have enough for this one for sure. So we'll upgrade that one last. So that'll be 6 pretty big, good-sized fields that are producing pears. We just started paying our royal tax. Oh, that hurts, man. 246. That's like half of our money. I'm not too worried about money, though. We have enough to pay that for a couple years, and then we haven't even started collecting taxes, really, or selling any of our goods. We're still just surviving off of the burgage plot money that we're getting from our perk, and then also honey and wax. So we haven't really started selling any of the good stuff here, which we should probably do fairly soon so that we can get everything else boosted up. I'd like to get a full set of retinue up fairly quickly. Do we just stick to the spears? I'm kind of partial to the spears. I do like the fact that you can do a spear wall and they have higher defense, and then they can reflect the charge damage back on the opponents. So what I'd like to do is get like maybe 3 spears and then 3 crossbows and 1 retinue. So we'll have one more melee troop than we have ranged, so we can hopefully force engagements. Just shoot at them, force them to come and attack us, and we'll use our defense. I usually prefer to play defensively. So let's just keep it simple. We'll go 3 spears, 3 crossbows. We'll go like that. We need 216, we only have 82. So yeah, that's going to be a problem. But it'll allow us to start our manor house right now, and I think we need to do that. I've kind of delayed that for a bit too long. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put the manor house down here. Let's also get the garrison tower at the same time. We've got plenty of supplies. And the reason I'm doing that is because we could technically build a nice little castle here. So there's not a lot of farmland in this specific area, so we could make it right in here. It's on the main road, so it would provide safe passage right here for anybody traveling. And yeah, we'll probably do some more farming down here. Yeah, there's some decent flax and barley in this little corner, so we can do something right here, right outside the castle walls. Unfortunately, these people are going to be exposed, and then anybody up here's, you know, I guess we'll have to defend with our troops rather than the castle, but I don't know, we'll see. And now that we know we're not going to be using sidearms, let's take this all the way down to 0 and just sell what we have. We'll use that as a good trade item. And here goes our final pear orchard. So we shouldn't have to do any more pear farming, probably. No matter how big we make this, this is a lot of pears, I think. I guess we'll find out in about 3-4 years how much a year it's going to actually produce. But it should be enough. And then we'll use this area. I don't think we really need the lower tier foods, right? It seems like we're covering it just fine. So if we look right here, it is berries and bread, but it's also, oh shoot, actually that's, yeah, berries aren't gonna last long enough. So what else are we providing? Yeah, see, look at, like, these people don't have enough. They don't have berries. Yeah, okay, we need veggies. Well, that answers my question then. So now would not be a bad time, I guess, to expand our population, right? Yeah, I think so. So let's go ahead and do some veggie farms. So what does this look like? And we'll get this down to duplexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And like I said, we don't have to do all these veggies. We could do a few more pear farms. And at plus 310 average planning costs, I think that's pretty reasonable, actually. So this is going to be 8 burgage plots. That's 16 more families. So 30-something more soldiers. 32 more soldiers. So almost a full regiment. Let's go ahead and do it. Here we go. We got our retinue. We don't have enough money to buy and upgrade everybody while also being able to handle the annual royal tax. So we got to be careful with that. 283 days. We've got time. Let's at least get these guys upgraded. So right now they start with decent armor, but not really amazing. So I usually find it best to spend your money upgrading first. And then instead of hiring max first, I think it's better to hire and upgrade until you have no more money. Let's do one more. So 277, that's enough to cover. And then we'll start turning on our taxes here pretty soon. Do have to be careful though, because we have that negative from missing market goods, not enough food variety at the marketplace. Actually, that's not a big deal. That's going to get fixed this year. Yeah, because we don't have the fruit yet. So that'll be fixed, but we do have to worry about the garments not being here. And then if we start taxing them, it's going to add another negative to the approval. So it's just something that we need to keep our eye on. These are pretty much built. We're just waiting for people to move in. We'll upgrade them to duplexes. And if all goes well, we should have more troops here. So let's start upgrading these to duplexes. And then I'll do 3. We'll do 3 veggie plots and see if that's enough. All right, here we go. Mandlach is being claimed. That is our last region. Obviously, we have to defend it. Okay, we don't have all of our troops. How many do we have? Yeah, a little over 90, like close to 100 maybe, including our retinue. Why don't we spend our money here? We still have time before this royal tax is due. Let's just max out. That puts us up to 10. 10 retinue is not a lot. The good thing is we have decent armor. We've got helmets and gambeson, so I think it might be enough. I think it actually should be okay. Now, we obviously need to do this before harvest season, so I'd rather just immediately do it. So we are in June, very beginning of June. So June, July, August. So we have 3 months to get this battle done with. Try to start recovering some of the losses, because for sure we're going to take losses here. There's no doubt about it. Let's go ahead and summon everybody then. Oh boy, this is a little scary. Obviously, if we lose this, that's the whole run down the drain. We got to start over. Make sure nobody's running and draining all their stamina. All right, there we go. Looks good. Yep, everybody's here and assembled. Except for this guy. Where are you? Yep, there they go. All right, so we're going to start heading down here. And as soon as we can, we're going to resolve the claim. And then we'll just immediately get in the bubble and try and fight them as they come out. Oh, there they are. There's our militia crossbow. 2 of them are back here. Why are you guys back here? Okay, let's wait. Okay, let me get these guys sorted. We'll come back when we're about to fight. Yeah, I don't understand this. Dude, why? So if we're fighting for this territory, why would we go all the way over here in his territory across the lake to do that? That's so stupid, man. Why would that even be a thing? Why, if you're fighting for over this territory, why not fight? Like maybe I could see maybe being adjacent by one, like here or here. Why is it all the way over here? I don't get that at all, man. We might have to fight two armies here then. And it's probably going to spill over into our harvesting season, assuming we even survive them hiring like 5 armies. So maybe we can catch them. Oh yeah, here we go. So they're spawning in right here. We could probably catch them. Where else? There's some archers right here. Where's their main force though? That's the one I'm worried about. Yep, that's the main force actually. So if we can get over here and deal with these archers while they're alone, we'll try and do that first. And then we'll have to fight these guys. All right, everybody's resting up nicely, so we should be good. Spotted, yeah, that's fine. There's also more mercenaries that they can hire. We don't really have money. I guess we could technically get some more archers, but I know I hired them earlier to try to steal this one, but that one was a botch. So I'm going to say we didn't hire any mercenaries because it didn't really help us anyways. So we'll try and do this 0 mercenaries. Come on, boys. We got to make this one count. So they're right behind us. We got to close these 2 out first before they come in to reinforce. So let's actually meet up right here. These guys are so far behind. Yeah, they're right behind us, man. We gotta go now. Okay, so the plan here is to obviously bum rush these guys. All right, the fight's on. Let's get our spear militia up front. Get our retinue in reserve, I think we'll keep. And then these guys need to just start shooting. Did we just... Oh my god, I think we just lost a bunch of people in one volley. Yeah, these guys are down to 10. Are they... Oh man, they might have some people trailing back here that got caught or something, because that didn't make a whole lot of sense that they would just instantly die. Yeah, I noticed there's some people that kind of trailing still. All right, let's keep going. They killed the retinue. Holy crap. All right, those archers are deadly. All right, let's get away. Yeah, just rush. We'll have time to rest once we knock them out, and then we can start worrying about these guys. All right, retinue are engaged. We just hit them with the charge. They're archers, so they don't really handle the charge well. Yeah, there we go. So that was pretty easy. Now let's set up our actual defenses here. Now, hopefully they come in one by one. They'll do that for a little bit, it looks like. You've got to be freaking kidding me right now. You've got to be kidding me. Why do they have another full army here? It's the mercenaries. That's what it is. They respawned. Yep, these are mercenaries. There's no way we win this. Like, we could probably win this, but there's no way we win this. 0 chance. 0 chance. Well, that's fun. All right, let's, we'll do what we can. So we'll go shield wall and get it as wide as we can without being completely vulnerable. Get these guys kind of close to the front. Get these guys on the flank. Okay, here we go. They're getting shots. Oh, wow, they're destroying those guys. Holy crap. All right, they look like they're going to try and flank us on this side, so let's try to stop them. Keep our retinue in reserve. They're getting kills. They're definitely getting some kills. Okay, what are you even shooting at now? Okay, here comes a volley. How many kills? There's one. Let's just get these guys out. And nope, they're trying to flank again, so we need to attack. So much for a shield wall. Alright, here comes another group. There's a group of retinue. We'll just attack. Hopefully our crossbows can make up for some of the deficit in numbers if we can just keep them alive. Maybe. I mean, that's really a stretch, to be honest, but retinue are done fighting. Let's get them over here. We can probably take these archers out. Oh my god, look at how many. And that's not even the second army. Look at that. There's so many people coming. Well, we're gonna give it our best shot here. This is not a good battle for us. Yeah, we need to focus these guys down because they're gonna chew through our spears. Let's get down here and try and help. Okay, did we? Yep, we killed him to the man. Perfect. Let's get these archers out of here. Spears can come over here and try to plug some of the gap. No, they're winning. They destroyed our retinue. Yeah, so like I said, without these guys, it was going to be a close fight. We were pretty close to winning this. Wow. What am I supposed to do against that? Like, I can't build a castle here because they're obviously just going to move the goalpost, right? They just move where the battle takes place. That's really stupid. Okay, well, let's see it through to the end. We'll get an end screen here. Well, that's it. They win the battle, they take our land, and then, yeah, not much we can do about it. Okay, there we go. Region, yeah, battle lost. They just took over our territory, so... Game over. Damn, I really like the city too. This was a good one. Alright, well, back to the drawing board. So I think it might be hard to do without mercenaries. So I might have to put an emphasis on that. I really don't want to. I was trying to do it with just the militia, but it's hard to grow your population fast enough to fill all those out. I mean, we had 100. We had like about half of what our full army would have been. I think even with the full army and the retinue, I don't think we were going to win that. That was just too many, just way too many troops. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely some stuff to think about. So, yeah, if we do it again, I think there should be more emphasis on getting some more treasury wealth. So, damn, that sucks, man. That sucks. Yeah, treasury wealth would have been good. We could have hired mercenaries if we really wanted to. I mean, there was definitely some in there that could have helped. You know, I had a funny idea. We still have influence. What if we try and claim it? Do they... I wonder if they will defend it or not. Or if we'll just get it back and we can try it again. Okay, gauntlet's been thrown down. Here comes another freaking 10 armies. Yep, they're gonna win that, obviously. Can we cheese the AI in diplomacy? And I don't think so. I think they fixed all that stuff. But let's see what he says. I really don't want to have to restart. I do have a save file. Peace declared. I don't know what the game's doing. It looks like it just canceled my claim. Right, I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. Yeah, it just basically said, screw you, you don't get a claim. Let's try it again. Maybe his army spawn times out for a little bit and we can get it back. We're trying here, we're trying. Oh, it didn't even give us... Yeah, oh, no, it says claiming. I don't see any units. Oh, no, there's units. But they're at the other end of the map. I think they're probably going to get there in time. Yeah, I think this is lost. Alright, I might have to restart. Hopefully this was fun to watch, though. I mean, we definitely had a good setup going, but just needs to be a bit more aggressive. Yeah, look at how stupid this is, man. A full-on legit army just scooping up all the mercenaries again. So it looks like we have to either get lucky and have a battle on our territory, and then use maybe a bunch of archers, and then just like shoot them to death. But yeah, it looks like they cheat and then they pull the battle over there. So there's not much you can do about that. Or you just have to spam mercenaries more than they do, which is a meta that I really don't like about this game. That's why I'm very against using them if we can help it. But yeah, it looks like that's not the case. So, all right, let me go ahead and try this one again. So I'm going to do a new video for the next challenge. But like I said, hopefully this was fun. Hopefully you learned something. Learn from my mistakes, definitely. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video.